Thank you for tuning into Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop. On today's review, we take a look at the Mezco 112 blade. Today, I'll be reviewing this figure in 6 categories: accessories, articulation, design, is it essential to your collection, functionality, and price. Once all scores are totaled, I'll give you my opinion if this figure is a pass or a purchase. So for accessories, man, does blade come with a lot. It comes with the baggie that comes with all Mezco figures, as well as the base and stand. We get 2 head sculpts. The first is the one that comes on the actual figure. See if I can add some lighting to this. The flesh tone is a bit shiny, but nothing that bothers me too much. The paint sculpt looked good. The line for the hair all seems to be well intact. The second head sculpt is my favorite, and this is the one that I'll actually be leaving on blade. The teeth look very good, as well as the inside of the mouth. Very happy with that. In total, we receive 6 pair of hands. I won't go through each hand, but just to give you an idea of what some may look like. And all hands are done black, with red around the hand portion. We receive 4 pair of shades. I'm not complaining. It would have been cool if the shades were different because they're all identical, maybe different color, maybe a few pair that were red, some that were transparent. However, they didn't come that way, and that's fine. We receive 6 daggers done in a metallic paint, 2 throne blades, also done in that same silver metallic paint. We receive a blade and sheath. The blade is not as metallic as the rest of the other accessories. We receive a magnet which attaches to his back, which allows you to place the blade. We receive a automatic weapon with a removable clip, or extra clip, I should say. We receive a shotgun. I'm very happy to have this. I don't think any of my other figures have or has the shotgun. I could be wrong. Maybe the Punisher does. And what we're used to seeing with Mezco, we get the muzzle effect. I can't get enough of this. I really like these pieces. So we get 2 of those for each of the weapons. And last but not least, we receive a leather jacket, which looks very good. The stitching on Mezco figures are improving a lot. This is just very well done. It has a functional zipper, and the inside is done red. So for accessories, I'm giving Blade a 10 out of 10. Man, does he come stacked with a lot. So for articulation, the head is able to look up about that far. It's able to come all the way down. You get some great pivot, and it can rotate a full 360. The arm is able to lift up that high, which is phenomenal. You could rotate it a full 360, but because of the fabric, it's hindered, so I wouldn't go beyond pushing it to that point. You do get rotation. There's an upper bicep cut. The arms are double jointed, bending in about that much. You do get rotation at the wrists. They also hinge up and down, left and right. You just have to make sure that the hands are aligned with the ball or the peg. So with the torso, you have a upper piece and lower piece. So with the upper, you're able to get a slight amount of movement back. About that much forward. A great amount of pivot. With the lower, you're able to get waist rotation, barely any crunch back, some forward. Using them together, you're able to get a lot of added movement. So now onto the legs. The legs are able to extend out that much, limited by the fabric. They're able to come back that much. You do get upper rotation here. You get a swivel at the boot. The foot is able to come up about that much, not a lot, down much more. Finally, good amount of pivot on the inside as well as the outside. And the knees are double jointed. He's almost nearly able to kick himself in the butt. And as far as the split, it's limited by the fabric. I wouldn't go beyond pushing it this much. So the articulation on blade is solid. The only thing to truly be desired would be butterfly joints. So for articulation, I'm giving blade an 8 out of 10. For design, Mezco truly did an outstanding job. I am not always a fan of their own interpretation when it comes to particular figures. However, this one here, they truly nailed it. And for design, I'm going to give Mezco a 10 out of 10. So is blade essential to your collection? I think some people forget that Blade was sort of the start of the MCU. I think a lot of people have forgotten that we had 3 Blade movies that came out in the early 90s. And they were wildly successful and very good movies as well, with the exception of the 3rd installment. So with the exception of I believe it was the Toy Fair exclusive Blade that was released, this is the 2nd version that we're receiving. And unless you were at Toy Fair, you were unable to get your hands on it. And in my opinion, with the exception of the alternate heads and maybe a few accessories, I think this is the better out of the 2 versions. If I had one to take, without a question, it would be the one that's before you. So is Blade essential to your collection? The answer for me is an absolutely, and I'm going to give Blade a 10 out of 10. So let's talk about the functionality with this particular Blade figure. So we have 4 pair of shades which actually fit. Once I remove the shades from their casing, I didn't think that they would fit so snugly, but they do. They actually lock in place. You can turn Blade upside down and the shades do not move. So I'm very happy with that. Also with the soft goods, I thought that it would have been problematic putting the coat on. I can barely dress my own child, let alone a 6-inch figure. However, it was pretty simple. And now that he's in the fabric, I can still get good range of movement. And there is actually bendy wire at the collar and at the bottom so that you can flare the jacket out if you choose to. So I really like that. A few other areas that I truly like on this figure. Well, I was unsure if this actually went around his neck, perhaps around his arm, but the flap of the jacket get in the way, so I decided to toss it here. I'm sure a gun enthusiast would know if this is actually where it goes or not. However, it still looks pretty good, and you can kind of just throw it to the side. So I like the fact that we have a weapon, and we have a way to store that weapon. In addition, let's take a look at some of the accessories. All right, I'm going to sit Blade down for a moment. So we received this throwing knife, and when I first put this in my hand, I was like, it would have been cool if the blades move, and they actually do move. So you can take the 2 blades that comes with Blade, no pun intended, and there's a pouch or holster to where you can slide it in, and you can bring the other part up, and now you have storage for it. It's the same thing on this side as well. In addition, on his leg, if you can see that area, so you can slide in additional accessories. There are 3 areas in his leg to where you can do so. So I truly like that. All right, let me sit Blade down again for a moment. And the part that I love so much is that the muzzle effect piece. You simply just slide it into the hole, and it just gives a great effect. And I know I've been crying and hounding for Hot Toys to start producing effect pieces like this. So this is absolutely fabulous. And again, you come with one for the shotgun as well. Why don't I show it? So same process. There's actually 2 holes, so you can mount it to the higher or to the lower hole. Okay, that's a mistake. There's only 1 hole to mount it in. So closing out on the last thing for functionality, the coat actually has a functional zipper that you can close and zip up or down. So I am like really, truly feeling this figure. And for functionality, Blade would have had a 10. However, let me just make sure I get this right. The right leg on this figure, it's longer than the left leg. So it makes it very difficult for him to stand. I either have to prop a coin underneath underneath the lower foot so that he can stand. So where functionality would have come in at a 10 because of that, and I am not sure if this is just my figure or is this something on other people's figures, I'm going to give Blade an 8 out of 10 for functionality. So I almost forgot to show a piece. Blade comes with this, which has a magnet on the opposite end. This piece is made so that you can put his blade through it. You can then put the blade into the sheath like so, and then you can connect this to his back. Oh no, that kind of sucks. So if you remove the jacket, it will actually stay in place. However, because of the jacket, the magnet is not connecting, and that actually sucks. I thought the magnet was strong enough to work with the jacket on. So I'm going to stick to that same score, and I'll be giving Blade an 8 out of 10 for functionality. And last but not least, pricing. So Blade comes priced in at $80. That is before shipping. Unless you're able to get it from a local comic shop, which I did, you'll have to pay whatever amount for shipping. So my Blade came in at roughly $85. So now, is he worth the $80 price point? So let's think about what he comes with. And for a moment, let's kind of compare him to some competition. So looking at Marvel Legends and Diamond Select is sort of your only offerings to get an action figure under the $30 price point. But now if you're comparing Blade to imports such as SH Figuarts, Mafex, those carry a $50 and higher price point. Throw in the fact that Blade has soft goods. If you ask me, that adds a certain amount of extra towards this particular figure. So we get a slew of accessories from 2 guns with the fire effect muzzle. We get a blade with a magnet as well as a sheath. We get throwing knives. We get 6 daggers. We get 6 pair of hands, a removable coat, 2 head sculpts. So for the price, he is absolutely worth it. I've been waiting for this figure some time, and it absolutely did not disappoint. So for pricing, I'm going to give Blade a 10 out of 10. So for my overall cliff score, I will be giving Blade a 56 out of 60. Man, this guy is outstanding. For functionality, it would have been a full 10. Again, the leg on my Blade is shorter than the other. I'll reach out to a few people, see if they have the same issue. And the lack of butterfly joints, excuse me. But this could have easily been a 60 out of 60. So here's Blade next to Mezco's Black Panther. I don't think it should be this much difference in height. However, here you have it. Also a figure that I have not reviewed as of yet. I'll try to get to that early next week. And here's Blade next to Mezco's Spider-Man Homecoming figure. And again, I don't think that it should be this much difference in not just height, but overall body mass. I understand that Spider-Man is supposed to be a teenager. However, he looks like he's in maybe junior high school. And again, this is a figure that I haven't reviewed as of yet. Hopefully I can get this review out at some point early next week. So I want to thank you for tuning in to Mr. Cliff's Toy Shop, and I hope to see you during the next review.